Hey guys, how's it going? It's Blepner here with another team review, and today we're going to be looking at one of my favorite teams in pretty much any cup. This team was really fun because Tropius is so good at getting shields from almost any other Pokemon in the Spring Cup meta. And GOLISOPOD is fantastic at out-spamming opponents to charge moves, and with access to flying and bug type coverage in the charge moves, it can hit pretty much anything for super effective or at the very least neutral damage. And so it makes for a great safe swap. And then Empoleon in the back is really nice because it can deal a lot of fast move pressure to pretty much anything except for Lantern in the back. And obviously also has access to a flying type coverage move in Drill Peck. And in general, I feel like flying type coverage is one of the best possible coverages you could have in this meta. And in addition to that, the steel typing means that it walls poison types, which in general I found that poison types were one of the most common typings in this meta. And in addition, the Tentacruel safe swap was one of the most common safe swaps in this meta. So let's see how this team does in action. So first up, we have Tropius into Tentacruel. This is not a good lead. And what I do in this lead is that I just keep on throwing fast moves until they throw a charge move. And this could be either a Scald or an Acid Spray. Usually they go Acid Spray, I've found, if they have it. And sure enough, that is an Acid Spray. And then we swap immediately. So I could have potentially thrown my move there just to chip them a bit. Me swapping out here actually isn't the smartest play. Just because the Tentacruel can win this in pretty much any even shielding scenario. And obviously they can switch out as well. But I CP tie them to an Acid Spray here, which is fine. You know, we deal some nice chip damage. But then they come into Tropius. And so what they've done by staying with the Tentacruel and throwing the Acid Spray on alignment is that they basically guarantee that they can just farm us down. Which is not great because they have almost an Aerial Ace. I think that they're one away from an Aerial Ace here. So what I think that we're going to do is we're going to try and throw our own Aerial Ace and then switch. We actually accidentally overtap and throw a fast move, which is not great because now we actually CMP tie them to the Aerial Ace. At least we win the CMP tie. We're going to shield here, actually, because we want to preserve the Tropius. A lot of the times, Tropius with a decent amount of health is able to deal some damage in the back. We throw the Leaf Blade here. I actually bait with my Tropius a lot, as long as I think that they're going to shield, just because they shielded the first time, which means that they definitely want to keep their Tropius alive. And as we've seen before, we went CMP. So they switch into Tentacruel, and this is okay for me because this Leaf Blade should take them out, and then it's all a matter of what they have in the back, right? Yeah, we're completely fine with them going back into Tentacruel there, and so we are fine with taking a Leaf Blade. We shouldn't have to take two. If we took two Leaf Blades here, this would basically be a good game, but they are actually switch locked in. Okay, so they have a Poliwrath in the back, which is the best thing that we could possibly see in the back with this huge energy advantage, even though they technically hard counter us. Because they switch lock themselves by going into Tentacruel, that's what lost them this game because we were able to get such a devastating overfarm on the Tropius, get off two of these Drill Pecks, and this is one of the rare occasions where we're actually very grateful to have regular Empoleon over Shadow. Honestly, I really wish I had a Shadow Empoleon because in 90% of matchups I found the Shadow Empoleon could have performs better than the regular. But in that situation, we were very grateful for the regular Empoleon. So next up we have the Mirror Match, a very common matchup just because a lot of people are using Tropius right now. It's a very good lead. And so we try to catch the Aerial Ace and we fail, which is the worst possible scenario for us. But the upshot is that they actually can't take us out with two Leaf Blades, which is incredibly good because it forces them to swap out into their Slowbro. Now, this is a very uncommon pick in the Spring Cup. And what my mind immediately goes to is that they have to have a Bruxish in the back. There's no reason for them to switch Slowbro into an Empoleon unless they have their ABB Water Psychic. And so I'm thinking here that I can farm down if I shield once, and then I would come out with a move to guarantee either a shield on the Bruxish or to take out the Tropius. But they actually get to another move here, and this is horrible for me. This should have been an easy win for me if I had just no shielded. And once again, this is where a Shadow Empoleon would have been really nice, because we would have probably been able to farm them down before they got to 2 moves there. So suddenly this is looking like a pretty bad situation for us. But they come into the Bruxish, and suddenly this is looking a little bit better. The Bruxish is just dealing so much damage to these Confusions, though, that I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to make it to another X-Scissor here. It's going to be close. We do not make it to the X-Scissor, but we can potentially make it to double moves on the Tropius. They got in, what was it? Was it 4 Confusions maybe? So, yeah, we're going to actually throw immediately here the Leaf Blade, which is, I think that we kind of had to. I think that they're actually a double here, although I wasn't counting. So, and now I make a crucial mistake here. I thought that I could farm them down with Empoleon. So what I had to do was catch onto Empoleon, and then the opponent would have definitely lost. But I thought the safer play was to just farm down with Empoleon. I thought that I had a little bit more health there on my own Empoleon. But that is a good game. Well played to the opponent. Really spicy team. ABB Psychic backline makes sense for all the poison types in the meta. But moving on, we have Empoleon in the lead. Another very common lead. In fact, I saw a lot of teams that were just my team flipped around, where they had Empoleon lead, and then they had Tropius in the back. So if you guys are seeing any variations of this team, then let me know in the comments down below. It makes sense, right? Because it's just such a powerful team. But what I like to do against the Empoleon is I like to try to catch a Drill Peck. But they waited. They actually didn't throw immediately. And what that means is that potentially I could have actually just thrown a Leaf Blade on my Tropius immediately, and then I could have gotten a shield, which would have been really good. But regardless, we are suddenly in sort of a shady situation here. I'm expecting them to catch, and sure enough, they do catch. This is not the first time that they had done this, expecting me to throw the Hydro Cannon into their own Empoleon. But really, there's no reason for me to throw Hydro Cannon, because the Empoleon was easily in Drill Peck range. So that's a tip for you guys, is that if you're anticipating that they might catch, just throw the coverage move of Drill Peck, and suddenly we're in a very good situation. Not really good, because they do have a Tropius in the back, and actually they can potentially sweep us with this Tropius, but we're not in the worst situation here, because we're able to outspam them to these Aerial Aces. Not able to by much. I think that we basically outspam them to the 3rd Aerial Ace by 1 turn. So we have to see what happens here. Of course, we have to shield. And we couldn't have caught onto our own Tropius, because obviously an Aerial Ace doesn't take them out. We have to throw this Aerial Ace, and then we have to somehow farm them down with Tropius, or get to a move on Tropius. We do get to the move, we win CMP, and so this is what wins us this game here. And so I wanted to include these 2 games. The first one where I get farmed down on my own Empoleon, and then this game where the opponent gets farmed down with their Empoleon, because they are basically mirrors of the same situation. I made the mistake in the first one, they made the mistake in this one. But yeah, really nice to be able to farm down the Empoleon here. And so here we have a very good switch for us. They switched into the Sea King. I believe that they led with Lantern. And we are going to get a shield first, and then we swap into a GOLISOPOD. I'm not sure about this play just because if they manage to flip this matchup here, then that would be really bad for me because I only have the Tropius for their Lantern. But we should be able to win this in all even shielding scenarios, right? We are going to shield this. We have to shield this because if not, then they could have potentially double shielded and farmed us down. So the upshot is that we are able to get to double X scissors and they catch the X scissor onto Lantern, which is completely fine with us. We do have to throw the next one. I would have liked to have saved it because we are double debuffed here, but it doesn't really matter too much because this should put them into range where a Leaf Blade will just about take them out. And we CMP tie, expecting to win CMP. But folks, I think that this must be IV dependent or something, because I feel like I do win CMP against Lanterns sometimes, but surprisingly enough, we do not win it there. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to undercharge, thinking that they have to take us out with a Surf. And obviously I would have liked to have just farmed up and against the Lantern instead of CP tying them, but I think that this is also fine, just because I'm not anticipating them having a Poliwrath in the back. If they had a Poliwrath, this would get very dicey, but then they have a Trevenant in the back, and I should be able to just outpace the Trevenant. However, they are going to try to catch, right? 100% they're going to try to catch. Anticipating the catch and the throw, I go into GOLISOPOD, and so this is what won me the game, whereas I could have potentially been in a very bad situation. They did go for the Icy Wind, surprisingly, so potentially I could have called an Icy Wind on my Empoleon, and then I would have definitely won. But that would have been a very dicey situation if I hadn't switched in time, and I had to use a shield on my Empoleon, but that is a good game. And so now we have a Ferrothorn lead. This is a very good lead for us. They switch immediately to Tentacruel, and we take a long time to switch out, and this is not good. If you're going to switch into your Empoleon versus Tentacruel, then you gotta switch quickly, because now they can very comfortably win this matchup because they got the attack debuff. Well, actually, I guess the attack debuff doesn't really matter because they're Shadow anyway. So, actually, it's looking like I can't take them out in 2. I was thinking I'd be able to take them out in 2 here. But yeah, this is actually pretty devastating for me. Pretty devastating for my Empoleon, I should say. Not the worst thing in the world, honestly, because GOLISOPOD has an okay matchup. But they go for the Acid Spray, just assuming I'm gonna shield there. And Trainer, I'm not gonna shield there because I don't care too much about alignment, honestly. So this is suddenly looking like a much better situation for me than I thought. If they had gone for Scald there, I would have been worse off. But now we get off a Drill Peck, albeit debuffed, versus the Ferrothorn. And this puts them into range where an Air Slash plus a bunch of an Air Lace plus a bunch of Air Slashes should take them out. And so look at this. They have a Roserade in the back. I do bait here. Like I said, I do bait on occasion with the Tropius just because I was so confident that they're going to shield that. And now we have a shield advantage with the GOLISOPOD, and this is looking okay here because we should be able to take out the Roserade with the GOLISOPOD. We do CMP tie them, and that's not good because now we have to shield. Ideally, I should have thrown that X Scissor before they got to the next move. What we're going to do is we are going to undercharge, but we don't actually undercharge enough. I think that I should have just hit like 2 bubbles at most, honestly. But they throw immediately, and that basically negates the fact that we didn't undercharge enough, and we also CMP tied. They could have really gotten a nice farm there on their Ferrothorn, so we did misplay. They have Mirror Shot, and that's crazy because that suddenly means that they can potentially get some attack debuffs here. I think if they get 2 attack debuffs, then we just lose here. So that's not great. Luckily, the first two didn't seem to debuff my attack. I don't know about you guys, but I've been really disliking this visual glitch where I can't see very well if things debuff me or not. I don't know. Sound off in the comments down below if you're getting annoyed by this glitch. I hope that Niantic fixes it soon. And unfortunately, as luck would have it, we do get the debuff there, but they are on their 3 cycle for the next Mirror Shot, right? So we do just barely take them out. It's looking like I was barely in Mirror Shot range there. That would have been a heartbreaking loss if they got to that Mirror Shot. But that is a good game. Well played to the opponent. Got a lot closer than it had any right to be. But here we have Tropius into Tentacruel. Once again, horrible lead for us. I shouldn't say horrible. It's a pretty bad lead just because they're dealing so much damage with their poison jabs. But at the very least, we do chunk them with the air slashes, and we do have the option of throwing the Leaf Blade here. I do not throw the Leaf Blade. We're playing this out the same way as the last one, but they have a Tentacruel, and they have a Lantern as their safe swap, and this is not great for us. We do CMP tie them though, and CMP tie is very good for us because most likely they're gonna throw a Surf, and that means that we get to another X Scissor. I don't think that we can quite farm them down, unfortunately. So on occasion, they actually do shield this, which would be really nice for us. This time they do not shield, and we get taken out. Maybe we shouldn't have even thrown those Shadow Claws, because at this point, what will win us this game is getting the perfect farm down on Tropius. So maybe it was actually to our disadvantage that we threw the Shadow Claws and got them lower. We were actually going to shield here. I agree with this shield. Obviously, I was the one that shielded, so I would hope that I agree with it. But yeah, like I said before, it's so nice to keep your Tropius healthy, especially with that much energy. If we had no shielded, then we would have probably just been sniped by that Mawile. Regardless, this isn't looking great. The Mawile should be able to just sweep us. They do come into the Tentacruel here versus the Empoleon, and I think that this is what loses them the game, because even though they are going to get this Empoleon very debuffed here, we could have thrown one more Steel Wing and thrown this Drill Peck, by the way, but I think that they would have been safest if they had just tried to sweep with Mawile and then come in the back with the Tentacruel and farm down if necessary, because now you're going to see that we have a really interesting end game here where I do force a shield with this Hydro Cannon. I am able to switch out, so I have to practice proper move time here. Throw one air slash, throw the move, throw the next air slash, throw the move, because that's the only way that we can potentially get to three Leaf Blades here. It's not looking good. I don't think that I can get there, but we get the deny. We get the so-called new mechanic there, and this is probably one of the clutchest wins that debatably might not have deserved. But if you have watched there's several videos about how it works when moves are essentially stored. And so it looks like I managed to store a move there. I'll link a video to how it works down below. But yeah, so I should have definitely been taken out there because I should have received the damage from that last Fire Fang at the same time that I got off my charge move. We'll play the end game in slow motion here. And we're going to take a look at it. And yeah, so this is the so-called new mechanic that you might have heard people talking about. Yeah, somewhere a turn got successfully stored, and I managed to take advantage of it there. So let me know in the comments down below what you think of that last game. If you think I deserved it, if you think I didn't. But regardless, that ended our stream with a huge 5-0 that took us to 2,469 elo, my season high. Really fun stream, honestly, today. And so if you guys want to watch me continue my veteran push tomorrow, then I will leave a link to my stream down below. I hope to see you all there. I'll see you next time. Bye.